Welcome back. Many of us have been known to offer the odd treat to local wildlife, a handful of seeds, maybe some fruit. Kate's neighbour presents a twice-daily buffet that pulls a deafening crowd.
It's very loud squawking and screeching, especially there's a lot of lorikeets. Often between 100 and 200.
It may look and sound like feeding time at a bird sanctuary, but this is a suburban backyard, and for those who live nearby, it's become an unwanted attraction.
There's no peace, there's no running away from it.
There's lorikeets, crows, pigeons, magpies, kookaburras, even some pesky minor birds. Listening to this feathered flock for a minute or two, you can hardly hear yourself think. So imagine living next door to them for the past 5 years.
It's in your head, and you can't enjoy the peace and quiet of your own home and land.
Kate has captured hours of video footage which shows her neighbour feeding the birds soaked white bread every morning and night.
From dawn to about 8:30, and in the afternoon from 3:30 to say 5:36, depending on how many times she feeds the birds.
Kate has even conducted her own decibel recordings from inside her home, with one peaking at more than 100 decibels, which is louder than a blaring lawnmower and almost 3 times the permissible level of noise in a residential street during the day.
And anything over 85 decibels is considered damaging to your ears.
Since 2014, Kate claims to have made several attempts to directly resolve the issue with her neighbour, but it's failed. We agreed not to identify the woman at Kate's request.
So I've asked for mediation at least 3 times, and that's been ineffective. There's been no response from her.
The noise became so unbearable for Kate, she was forced to move out for 2 years.
I had another unfortunate diagnosis of cancer, and I wanted to be somewhere where I felt happy and more at peace.
Financial reasons left her with no choice but to move back home. Kate now tries to escape the noise by meditating and listening to music.
Yes, I bought myself a stereo system to play music, Leonard Cohen and Pavarotti and all the other favourites that I have to distract me from the excessive noise.
Not even Pavarotti can help you meditate in these conditions. Kate has also installed double glazed windows, which set her back $18,000.
Have they had the desired effect, these double glazed windows?
No, they've had very little impact because I still can hear the noise.
Kate's hung reflecting CDs and fake predators along the fence line, but they make little difference.
So it's been really a waste of money, and I think it's because the sheer volume of birds, the sheer quantity, they are just not scared.
Kate has complained to both her local council and the Department of Environment and Science, but because these birds are wild, they're not considered a pet, which means there's no legislation to stop her neighbour from feeding the birds.
There's a cockatoo or something else in a cage is squawking and making a noise for 10 minutes, it's reportable, whereas these birds can be doing this for 4 to 6 hours a day, and it's not reportable.
Do you feel like your concerns have been heard?
They've taken the easy way by saying there's no law that covers the feeding of wild birds.
In a statement, Brisbane City Council says it's the state government's role to manage feeding, and it does not regulate native bird noise.
And white bread, it really is the worst thing you could feed wildlife, and it leads to a number of liver disease problems, it leads to gastrointestinal problems, and it leads to growth problems in a number of birds.
Senior vet at Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary, Michael Pine, says while their bird feeding show is one of the most popular attractions, he does have a warning for the rest of us.
Don't feed too much, you're just giving a snack, you don't want them to be relying on you to feed them.
With nowhere else to turn, Kate contacted us here at A Current Affair. She's now launched this online petition where she's calling for action to stop people who feed wild birds.
And I've asked the government to look at reviewing the impact of wild bird feeding on humans, birds and the environment.
Kate hopes her petition will help others in similar situations, but she's at a loss about what to do next and is now thinking about selling her home.